The ACC tournament is here. It begins on Tuesday with the 10 through 15 seeds playing in the first round. Then the next chunk gets one bye, and then on Thursday, the top 4 teams will join the action with the tournament champion being crowned and getting the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Clemson had a chance at that double bye when really over the last 3 games, as it turned out, they could have beaten Notre Dame or Wake Forest to earn to finish 12-8 and hold a tiebreaker over Pittsburgh. That would have given them the 4 seed. Unfortunately, they lost both of those games to finish 1-2 over the last 3. That puts them as the 6th seed because they lose the tiebreaker to Wake Forest. Pittsburgh finishes with one more win. They hold the tiebreaker over Syracuse, with Wake, Syracuse, and Clemson all finishing 11-9. So Clemson's the 6th seed in the ACC tournament, which, if we take a step back and remember that this team was 4-6 in the ACC back on February 3rd, the overall 7-3 over the last 10 is pretty good, but disappointing they didn't earn that double bye. And that double bye is critical because Clemson now has to win 4 games instead of 3 games. They haven't won 4 ACC games in a row all year. It's probably not going to happen, to be quite frank. And I'm going to jump ahead and show you why. And that's because, A, it's incredibly hard to do, and B, Clemson has never won multiple ACC tournament games. It's just something that Coach Brownell has struggled with, these short turnarounds. I don't know what it is. They've struggled to string together postseason wins. Could this year be different? I think there's a chance, and here's why. This is Clemson's second best team of the Brad Brownell era. There's been way too much negativity about this team because they are ranked 24th in KenPom. The only team Coach Brownell's had over the last 14 years to rank higher was the one that went to the Sweet 16. So that tells you something. Last year, KenPom was really down on Clemson all year, despite them getting off to a great start, especially in ACC play. KenPom saw right through it, saw that they were beating up on bad teams. This year, KenPom is seeing them beat good teams, lose close, battle, and have a lot of talent, and they're predicting them to do well. So these are predictive rankings. So when you see them 24th, they're saying, we think you will do well. So when Clemson gets into the ACC tournament, they'll begin on Wednesday. So first Tuesday, the number 11 seed Boston College Eagles, the number 14 seed Miami Hurricanes will play. The winner will play Clemson at 9:00 on Wednesday. It's weird to see Miami, a Final Four team from last year, so bad at the 14 seed, but they've lost 9 in a row. They beat Clemson, but they couldn't miss. They looked like a really great team. It seemed like they were starting to get back to Final Four level. And not too long after that, they started losing and they didn't stop. They lost 9 in a row, including twice to Boston College, once by 8, another time by 10. Clemson has faced Boston College and they beat Boston College in Little John, but that was without BC's star 7-footer Quentin Post. So hard to put too much stock in that. I think Clemson will face Boston College. They'll be favored and they'll probably win, but given their last matchup was without probably their best player and it was in Clemson, hard to put too much stock into that. I think that's going to be tough. Maybe 60-40 Clemson wins. And then, of course, after that, you're facing Virginia, and the analytics hate Virginia, but they've really owned Clemson, and they've already beat Clemson once. So that game's real late, 9:30. I can't tell you got to stay up for that one. That could be a real slog, a 62-63 kind of game. But I mean, Clemson has the firepower to win it. KenPom thinks Clemson's the better team. KenPom has Clemson as number 24 in KenPom, which is the 3rd best in the ACC, and it has Virginia all the way down at 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th in their KenPom rings of ACC teams at 67th nationally. So KenPom hates Virginia, does not think they're very good. Shouldn't say hates. They're predicting that they will lose some games because they don't think they're that good. So that's the setup there. And really my goal, I think, beating North Carolina, who's 8 in KenPom. I think they're great. They're on a big win streak. I think it's six ACC games in a row for them. They earlier had 8 in a row. They're very capable of winning 3 in a row here. They own Duke, so if they have to play Duke, you feel good about that matchup. I think they're good enough to beat Pitt or Wake if they have that matchup, although that's no gimme. They already lost to Wake Forest. I take that back. But I think North Carolina is the heavy favorite here. But if Clemson could manage to win the first game and then beat Virginia, who they're better than. Virginia just has their number, and get a rematch with Duke and avenge the bad call loss that they suffered in Durham. To me, that's a success. And frankly, if they could find 3 postseason wins, whether it's here or in the NCAA tournament, I think that is a success. Before I talk about the recipe that they'll need to do that, I just want to remind you, please subscribe to this channel. We're getting close to 900, and my goal is to hit 1,000 by football season. That's when you're a full partner with YouTube. So help me do that. I'd really appreciate it. So talking about how does Clemson string together a couple of postseason wins, I think the key or a key is PJ Hall. I'm not sure what the strategy is. I know you want him to shoot some 3-pointers because it forces the defense to play differently. Forces them to come out and challenge him, and he's got the speed to blow by and get some layups, and he's done that. But you can't have him shoot 6, 7, 8, 9, or sometimes 10 3-pointers in a game. When Clemson, when PJ Hall misses 5 or more 3-pointers in a game, Clemson, as you'd expect, is only 2-5. This is a 20-win team, and they're 2-5 when he's missing that many 3-pointers. He did that against both Wake Forest and Notre Dame, right? So those misses are wasted possessions when he could be posting up, or you can have someone like Gerard, who's a much better 3-point shooter, taking those shots. And even, maybe it's obvious to say when someone misses that many threes, the team's more likely to lose. They're still only 6-4 when he attempts 6 or more 3-pointers. So not even a huge number. But when he even just attempts 6, Clemson's barely, they're only winning 60% of the games. Again, a 20-win team overall. So that really goes to show how good they are when he's only shooting a couple. So maybe 3-4 attempts and cap it at that. Just enough to prove you'll do it. Just enough to prove that the defense needs to come out to you. And that's all you need if you're PJ Hall. So again, looking at this tournament, some final thoughts. Duke is 7 in KenPom. They're the 2 seed. I don't know that they're that good. You look at who they've beaten. They've taken care of business against the lesser teams, but they should have lost to Clemson. They lose to UNC every time they face them. They lost to Wake Forest. I just don't know. They don't look dominant to me. Kyle Filipowski can't handle Wake Forest fans, for that matter, rushing the court. I don't know that he could handle some of the big men he's going to face in this tournament. I just don't believe in them to win the ACC or make a run. UNC, on the other hand, they're 8 in KenPom, but the 1 seed. I think they are very, very dangerous. They're hot right now. They're stringing together wins. Wake Forest and Pittsburgh's the other matchup to highlight. Wake Forest has a very interesting path to the tournament. If they lose in the first round, I think they're done. Notre Dame, Georgia Tech will play on Tuesday, and the winner plays Wake Forest. They lost to each of those teams late. Kind of have a chance to, I won't say erase, but mitigate one of those losses, right? Because you're going to get a rematch. If you beat them soundly, you kind of prove it was a fluke. Then you play Pittsburgh. Both teams, according to bracketology, are among the last 4 or last 8 out. Winner of that game, especially if Wake strings together 2, they're 26th in KenPom. Are you really going to leave them out? I don't know. I think that potential Wake Forest versus Pittsburgh game would be a NCAA tournament game. One probably getting in, the winner, and one probably missing out, the loser. So that's another one to watch, but not in Clemson's portion of the bracket. Anyway, a lot to watch. This is, I think, the best event, I think, by far that the ACC tournament puts on. As much negativity as there is towards the conference, and in regards to football, probably deservingly so, this event is still outstanding. It'll be in Washington, D.C., so finally a chance for Clemson to play where there's not, a complete takeover by North Carolina and NC State fans. So opportunity calls there, and we'll see if Clemson can make a run, hopefully pick up a couple postseason wins. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and as always, go Tigers.